Welcome to the tokenized economy. Here is today's explainer on ERC-721, the standard that really brought the idea of uniqueness to the blockchain.
All right, so if you caught our last explainer, you'll remember we talked all about ERC-20. That's the standard for what we call fungible tokens. Think of it like this. Every unit is totally interchangeable. A dollar in my pocket is worth the exact same as a dollar in yours. Pretty straightforward, right?
But that simple idea immediately raises a huge question, doesn't it? What happens when you want to represent assets that are, well, completely unique? I mean, how do you handle things like a specific house deed, a one-of-a-kind piece of art, or a really specific financial contract on the blockchain?
Well, that's where ERC-721 comes in. It's a totally different approach, an entirely new standard built from the ground up. You could almost call it the architecture of uniqueness itself. So, the key term we've got to get our heads around here is non-fungible. And really, it's simpler than it sounds. It just means something is one of a kind. It's not interchangeable. You can't just swap it out for another one because it has its own unique identity, its own specific properties.
Okay, so let's break it down side by side. With ERC-20, you've got a pile of identical coins. With ERC-721, every single token is its own special snowflake. Each one has a unique ID and can carry its own distinct set of information, what we call metadata. And that, right there, is the absolute game changer. Now, I'm willing to bet you've actually heard of ERC-721 before. Even if you didn't know the technical name, it had a massive breakout moment in pop culture. So let's start with what you probably already know.
Yep, you guessed it. We're talking about NFTs. Digital art, collectibles, you name it. This is where ERC-721 exploded into the public consciousness. It was the perfect technology to prove, without a doubt, who owned a unique digital item.
But, and this is a really big but, let's pivot for a second. Let's look past the hype, past the digital art and collectibles. What is the deeper, more profound relevance of this for the trillions of dollars flowing through global finance every day?
And this, my friends, is where we get to the true, untapped power of ERC-721. Because if you peel back the layers of capital markets, you find something fascinating. Uniqueness isn't some rare thing. It's everywhere. It's often the rule, not the exception. And that's the core idea you need to grasp. Just think about it for a second. The most valuable, most important instruments in finance, they're almost never interchangeable. They're highly specific, custom-tailored, one-of-a-kind contracts.
Let me give you a few concrete examples. A specific bond issuance. It has a unique maturity date, a specific coupon rate. It's not like any other bond. A private equity stake, that comes with its own set of governance rights. A real estate title is tied to one and only one piece of property. Or how about a structured note? That's a financial product that's literally custom built. See? They're all non-fungible.
You know, it really gets to the heart of how finance works. The unique details, the fine print, that's what defines the value, the risk, the entire agreement. There's a great quote that sums it up perfectly. Uniqueness often defines the contract. So how does ERC-721 actually solve this problem? Well, it essentially allows each token to become a secure digital container, a container that can hold all of that unique asset-specific data. Things like the exact maturity terms of a bond or the specific governance rights of a private equity stake. And the result of that is huge. For the first time, we can have precise ownership tracking. We can have clear, transparent, and easily transferable digital versions of these incredibly complex, one-of-a-kind assets. It brings a level of efficiency and clarity to markets that have, frankly, been pretty murky and slow for decades.
Okay, so let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. Because this isn't just about one technical standard. What we're really witnessing is a fundamental evolution in how we think about, design, and manage assets.
You can almost see it as a three-step journey. We started with ERC-20, which gave us basic, fungible assets. Then, boom, ERC-721 comes along and gives us truly unique assets. And the next logical step? Well, that's a standard called ERC-1155, which can actually manage both types. And yeah, you can bet we'll be covering that in a future explainer. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that we're moving past just making digital copies of things. We are stepping into an era of truly advanced programmable asset design. And ERC-721, well, that was an absolutely massive leap forward on that journey. And that's our deep dive into ERC-721.
If you want to stay on top of this incredible evolution, make sure you subscribe for more short explainers on blockchain, tokenization, and financial markets. And hey, drop a comment below and let us know what topics you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in.